Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to tradingsyndicate.org. I'm JJ, and it's our morning session. Get you prepped and ready for the opening. Overnight inventory is long, and that bid has been right here at 45 pretty much all night, and it finally broke. It finally broke 44 half. Took all night. It took us to jam enough people long here that it got thick enough so it broke. But already look below and fail of 44 half. Still can't tag the close. So we're looking for an inventory correction down to the close. And you could see, man, this is so cool. On the 1 minute chart, you can see, look at these big 1 minute candles. You know what that means, right? I finally figured out how to accurately describe these candles, right? This is what happens when size sellers compete. This is when competition is civilized. This is what happens when competition starts to heat up a little bit. Do you guys get it now? Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Bigger the candle, the larger the orders. Okay. So we finally corrected inventory. That's the trade I was looking for off the open. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Down here at 37, there's that low. And I think I might have said that that was a poor low when it wasn't. It actually had 2 ticks of excess, but there was some pretty decent buying competition. Now we're breaking that low. Let's see if we do a look below and fail or a look below and go. There is an aggressive seller, right? This is an aggressive seller. They have size. And then that selling begets more selling. So let's see if 32 holds, right? 32 is just down here, right? 31, 32, that's the kind of area I'm looking at next. Let's go 31. You'll see I'm saying 31 because it's the middle of this zone. You see, there has been a constant seller at 68.54. So those of you who are short, I'm up in the 68.50s. Put some bids down here in the 30s and see if you could get size. If you could get size, drop your bids. If you can't get size, you might have to move them up. No, you're getting some size here. Let's see. Right? There's follow through selling. Under 32 targets 27. The levels have been working fairly well. Hey, Jam. So I saw your message, and then as soon as I saw your message, this thing started to break VWAP. Now, see how we're right by that cost basis of yesterday? Right? That's the value area. That's the bottom of it. Now, the next set of stops is going to be down here. This is a good inventory correction. I hope some of you caught that short. I did not. I did not catch that short. Still inside yesterday's range. Big ranges. Big ranges. Yeah, because when people are buying Blackhawk, we want to just do nice, slow business at the top, right? Because time, right? See, look at all this beautiful time you get to sell your stuff. Here, when selling gets competitive, everyone races for the exit. Big orders hitting the bid, right? These order books are thin. Your bids should tell you when to get out. When you're a short seller, you got to put buy orders down where you think your targets are. If those buy orders get filled, that's beautiful. If they don't get filled, then you know there's no supply down there. Right? Use your buy orders when you're short to tell you whether or not you should get out of the trade. See, all morning it was slow. And within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, a bid. A buy order is a bid, my friend. Yeah, throw in a bid. Next set of stops is down at 26. And then 24. My pleasure, no problem. Is the time now? I just think that there's been a constant seller at 54. So I wouldn't as a size buyer, I would not be looking to go for longs at 50, 51, 52 because there's a size seller. There's a seller at 54, half, 55. They're not going away. They've been there for hours. If you look at a 4-hour chart, they've been there since the 24th or the 25th. It's distribution. What was the big level from 2 days ago, everyone? 68.12. 68.12 is what I'm looking for. That's the next big level because that's where the bid has been for days. Let's go see if that bid is still there. This is cool. We got a little bumping and grinding, as they say. Nice. So that's 2 times discount, 4 times, and 8 times, and I'll just draw 4 there for now. See, look at how we came into the bid at the previous day low, right? 1 tick away, 1 tick away, right? This is all inventory. This isn't look out there throwing safes off the Empire State Building. That's not what it is. What it is it's an inventory correction. And it's a beautiful inventory correction. That's really cool. So those look below and fail traders, I'd be looking to stay over 23 before you get in there long because this could be just a let it breathe and sell into it candle right now. See, you want to be patient because you're looking for the seller. That's why you want to be patient. There's 2 things that you need to be patient for in trading. One is you need to be patient so you can find out where the hell the seller is if you want to go long. Otherwise, you're walking into a trap, right? So now you know the seller is here. So, and you know it's volatile here. So talk yourself through the trade. If you're looking for the look below and fail, that's not optimal now, right? As the hedge fund guys who wear the sweaters with no arms, they say that is suboptimal, right? That is suboptimal. It's the finance bros, right? Wait till it clears 22, right? Once it's over this 24 area where that old stop was, there you go. Now signs of life. Signs of life. Larger traders can start nibbling. Your risk is 22. If you're buying this, right, your insurance policy happens if the market dips over 22. If you're long, say 24, like I am, put some sell orders out. And if those sell orders don't get executed, right, get the hell out, right? Long 24, I got rid of most of it, and then one I scratched on just now, right? I take it again at 24 quarter, sell it 25 and a quarter. There, you know, that's just, you could see, it's simple. You know those guys, they wear those vests, right? The vest guys, right? You see them when you go to Canary Wharf or you go to, like, they're vest guys. They look like they're getting ready to climb Everest or something, you know? I guess the Bloomberg is the modern day Everest, right? Next seller is going to be where? Step right up and get your contracts. Where is that going to be? Right here. Boom. That's your next seller. Right? So you know that you have to get by these levels. Previous day overnight low. Yeah, there's a look below and fail of the previous day low by 2 ticks. Beautiful. Right? So this is short covering, by the way. Right? So what happens is the shorts come in and buy, then the wholesale, then us. And then the traders who are trapped under 22 go to take the offer at 24, and it zips up to 27. Now they're going to backfill. So bring it back up the truck, right? Right, back up the truck. Like if the Butabi brothers were teaching a trading class, they would say back up the truck. Right? Now let's see. 22's not holding. So there's a seller, right? Let's let them sell. Let them sell. Don't get in the way of this, right? Wait till it clears 22 again, but let the next candle open, right? They do, but it's funny, man. I mean, I guess you could have made fun of us too back in the 90s and the 80s with our suits, right? There's a seller, right? Let them sell. Let them beat the hell out of each other to try and get out. You don't get involved in that. Right? What you want to do is, it's like when two guys get into a fight, right? You see it in those movies. The guy, there's one guy waiting in the corner. He sees when one guy gets knocked out, he goes and steals his wallet. That's what you want to do when you're this kind of a trader, all right? Right? You guys are stealing wallets. Don't go for the vault when you're scalping, right? Just don't go for the vault. Sorry, 1 sec. Yeah, let's see. Now let them clean this up, right? Pretend the Rolling Stones just had a party, right? Still the Patek. Yeah, well, I don't know if guys would be fighting if they were wearing expensive watches like that. Which reminds me of this really funny story. Completely unrelated to trading, but maybe there's a parable in there somewhere. We're just waiting for this to clean out. So when I was a bouncer, there was 14 of us for one club. And we had this guy named Buckwheat. He was hilarious. And Buckwheat used to wear a Rolex. His parents got it for his graduation. But every time there was a fight, he'd be running and he'd like try and find a waitress or a bartender to hand the Rolex to before we had to get in and break up the fight. Hold my watch. Sorry. When you said Patek Philippe, I started laughing about that. Oh my God. Hold my watch. Hold my watch. That was better. We had another guy who had false teeth. He'd say, hold my teeth. We're getting into a Donnybrook. But that's Saskatchewan, right? See how it's cleaning up here? Back and forth like a vacuum cleaner, going back and forth over a dirty piece of carpet. So once we have the inventory in hand here, those of you who are looking for trades, it's going to creep from 26 past 27, and there's going to be a seller somewhere hiding in the bushes at 27.5. See, they jumped out already, right? It's not quite ready to go. When it's ready to go, and how do we know it's going to go? Because it's holding the previous day low. So if it holds the previous day low and it does this, you can, like larger traders can maybe build a little position and put some feeler offers out. And if those offers get taken, put out your size up here because that'll be the destination trade. Right? How tall am I? I don't know, 6'1"? Compression leads to expansion. There you go. Just like that hot water heater you built, Flylear. You know, you're like, you remember that TV show with Tim the Toolman? You're like Tim the Toolman of our trading room. You're always fixing something or building something. Moving your desk would mean just clicking a button. Like just the traders in Singapore would just be handling the order flow and try to trade off whatever's open in Singapore, right? No. You see, because if the CME was halted, there's nothing going on. If the market's closed, there's someone who's going to be dealing in those ES contracts or whatever. So you find that bugger and you see how he stands and see if you can, because you got clients who need to, get in and out. What could possibly people be fighting over in Saskatchewan? Well, Henry Johnson, after a man drinks about 10 or 14 beers, it doesn't really take much to get him going. The good old days. Yeah, the 80s were something. The end of the 80s were something. Hey, happy holidays, Beaushot. So do you see we're going back and forth? And we're kind of establishing a new little balance zone where the bottom of it would be, let's say, see how it's kind of going back and forth and scrubbing this area out? So as long as we hold the previous day low, it's okay. Yeah, 18. Right? As long as we hold yesterday's low, that'll be okay. If you're building a position. So how would you build a position in here? Like, what are the mechanics of that? What does that look like? Well, one of the ingredients is you're going to need a little bit of a larger account because that's a big range. That's a 10-point range. So what you might want to do is just look for the buys when it does the look below and fail of 18. And you pick up some 1920 inventory. You put some sell orders out at 22 and 23 and sell into this move up. Right? You don't have to wait for it to hit 27. You're out by 24, 25. Take the money and run. Right? Because you don't know how long this pattern is going to hold for. Right? That's the unknown. Your risk is defined. So if you're long 1920, break of 18 means you're gone. Bye. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Right? So you trade like what market makers are doing here is at 22, they flip from the bid to the ask. So they're buyers under 22, sellers over 22. Right? And that's how they're making money while the market is vacuuming up all of that inventory from above. So all of those people who are selling, they don't sell all at the same time. So they're selling and we're absorbing by cleaning it up in that area. And that is how you make a market. Right? So what we need to do is figure out a way to do business for when the market does this particular type of activity. And you will see that this repeats itself quite a bit. Because basically we're one-trick ponies, right? Grab a bunch of cheap stuff, sell it at a higher price. When nobody wants to buy it, put it on sale. Seeing you're a seller, and if you wanted to short, right, if you were so inclined, you'd be shorting 26, stop 27, 27 and a half, put some bids in at 24, 23, 22. So as the market goes down, boom, 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 you cover, right? So if you're short at 26 or 25 and a half or 25, and you have a buy order at 23 and a half and it's not getting filled, then you know you have to move your buy order up to 3/4 or 24, just like now, you see? Yeah, that's a great observation. It now I would replace should with could, but other than that, you're 100%, right? It seems like it could stay in this range until the open. Then they'll use the flow at the open to take that and try and sell it higher, right? That's the object of the game or the business. See? So if you were short 25, 26, you could cover in the 22s, you make yourself 3 to 4, 5 points. It's all good, right? It's like playing ping pong, right? Right? A lot of things that I've learned. Now, just there, I was looking how I responded to when Hex put should. I said just replace should with could, and that makes you sound wishy-washy, right? But when you are a scalper, when you are a day trader, you kind of need to be wishy-washy. You can't have too much conviction because if you have so much conviction that it keeps you in trades that are unprofitable, that is a problem. So you should be a little bit able to go with the flow. Like, oh, I made a mistake. Time to go. Thanks. You know, it's like, you ever walk down a street and you're in an area you're not supposed to be in, and you just like kind of go, thank you, I'm out of here, goodbye, right? Before you get mugged and end up thrown in a dumpster, right? You need to exit the situation, right? A little common sense, right? Now, traders who manage billions of dollars, they have the luxury of being able to have conviction. Because if they're offside 100 grand here and there, it ain't no big deal. But if you've got a $2,500 account, maybe have conviction on paper trades. I mean, you don't have to be a total nervous Nelly Blackhawk, right? But just be able to just kind of go, oops, I'm out, right? Like, let's not make a big deal about this, right? I'll just quietly exit stage left, right? I admit I'm wrong a lot. Do the higher lows within the balance range indicate there is less supply? Yeah. Yeah, you had me until you said potential breakout. This is the problem with breakout trading. And because I have been trained to sell into breakouts. So I don't look for a potential breakout. Now this is something but doesn't mean that we can't put the work in and try and figure out things that will cause a potential breakout. I think if we take this 28 level out and accept over it, then we'll have a breakout to 32. But I have to treat a breakout like a subway. Like it goes from this stop to 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 that one. Especially with this order flow and this kind of price action, if we stay above 28, then the position traders know that they've got all the supply. And they're going to creep this up and see if anybody is willing to buy it. Can we get some suckers to buy this at 32? Because that's not bad. If we're long 24 on size and we can sell it on the way to 32, that's good scratch, right? That's really good scratch. Look at the size that they've accumulated. Now they've reset their cost basis for the short term. Inventory is still long, right? But now they're going to try and creep it and sell it here and maybe go sideways here. Now, if enough people short this level, it's going to give us a boost back up and VWAP will be the target trade. Okay? And I can only say that because of the way it's behaving right now. That overnight low is there. See, when it took that stop at 37 that we were watching, all of that candy just came falling out. That was like a piñata area for us. That is when you break that 68.38, anybody who's long above that, and people have been long for hours above that. Boom. All right. How do they move the market up without spending a ton of money? By restricting supply. I can tell you that from personal experience. I've short squeezed a stock from about $3 to $5 where we started up to $300 a share. I could literally move that stock $20, $30 a share by spending $1,500 because none of the stock was actually in the system. It was all owned by a fund out of Europe. And they used that stock to mark up their portfolio to make their numbers look good. Window dressing. Is there where the sellers will create buying like you mentioned? Short sellers will create the buying. Jiraj, if I take a stock up to $20 a share and take it back down to 3 and hold it under 5 for a couple of months, people will short it at 5 thinking it's going to 0. That was a very popular thing back in the day. Oh, we're open. So if you could create a short position, I shouldn't be telling you guys this. But anyway, anywho, where's my thing for the open? I'll just do another one. Let's go test that overnight low. Why not, right? As they say in North Dakota, why not, my not, right? Open straight down. So we know that there's a seller at 27.28. Let's go see where they stop selling. They're going to stop selling where there's some bids. Longer term, I think if we break 6,800, we're going to be looking for about 67.80-ish on the longer term. I mean, we're in pure distribution. It's been in Picture perfect distribution. I don't see a trade yet. I'm going to let these knuckleheads fight it out. Yeah, that's actually not what a market maker does. I was a manipulator. So I worked with the market makers and I fed them. And when you feed market makers, they're very nice to you and they teach you things. Now we're going up past 32. The next seller is going to be here. So what do you feed a market maker? You feed them order flow. You feed them nice, juicy order flow. And when you feed them order flow, the secrets of the world open up to you. Hey, Ginja Trader, welcome to the room. Thank you for putting that out. 57.5% long. Beautiful. Let's see if we looked above 32, the sellers came in again, right? So it's not a complete race up. Right? There's still some inventory in those shelves, right? Here we go. Looking for 36 now. If you're long, sell them if you got them. There will be a seller before VWAP. Remember what I told you guys just a few minutes ago, that we're going to take this inventory and we're going to march it all the way back up to market. And this big green candle, remember I said, how many people do you think are short underneath 28? Well, that just shows you quite a few people shorted this. Right? This is just movements of inventory, right? Order flow and inventory mix together and transactions are done. That's it. There's a seller right there. Right where we marked that there would be a seller, the seller showed up. The top of the candle is where the sellers initiate competition. So when the top of the candle is moving higher, like it is now, right? If the offer is moving higher, it means the sellers have seen buyers, or their software has, and it's raising the price to take advantage of more people willing to buy. Now, the second candle now, the high is less, right? So the sellers have moved down. They're price competing under 36. So if you were shorting, if you were front running a short here, and you were shorting, say, 36, 37 against 38, 39 as a stop, you put some bids in at 32, put some bids in at 30, right? And you're covering, and you're covering, and you're covering, and you're covering. Why are you short? Because you saw competitive selling here, right? We just told you that there were competitive selling. You take a short, you put your stop above where the competitive selling is. It does not get any more simple than that, right? The execution is going to take some time, and it's going to take some finesse, but that's okay. So, you're short 36, right? Maybe 37 if you're lucky. You're covering at 30, that's a couple of points. That pays the bills, right? This is how you trade and make a little bit of money, right? And this is how you pay yourself. You see, the other reason why retail traders lose money is because they're conditioned to lose money. You guys aren't conditioned to get paid, right? If you tried to make 50 to 100 bucks a day and do it for like a month or two, where and when you don't make it, you don't lose like 400, right? You keep your losses small and it's it's hard. It's not easy, right? But it teaches you to pay yourself and then every month take money out of the account, every week take money out of the account and get used to actually paying yourself, because once you pay yourself, you'll understand. You'll start to get it. News in 10 minutes, and the president's talking. Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, I want you guys to get paid. I really want you guys to get paid. You put so much work into this. So, those big candles, right? Big candles mean big orders. We had big orders on the way down. Those orders are now complete. The market has absorbed those sell orders by wholesale. The short sellers, the smart money shorts came in and covered under 22. That told wholesale to build a position. They are now distributing that position just underneath VWAP. If enough buyers come in, we'll get back up to the 43s. But for now, if you were net long, say 24, 25 on a couple of thousand contracts, you are just whistling Dixie selling at 35, right? 10 points up, and every candle you're selling them up, you're selling them down. It's a beautiful day. You're out. Thanks, Lacey, man. Still. What's the president talking about? No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what he's talking about. Okay, on a brighter subject, half-hour chart. Those half-hour chart levels are working pretty good. They're working okay. I've never really looked at a half-hour candle chart, because what I'm trying to do is take the concepts of market profile and transcribe them so candle traders can get the benefit of market profile without having to spend 10 years learning market profile. Ah, a month-end rally is it. The logic is OPM. It's actually not the logic. It's the business, right? So what does OPM stand for? Other people's money. This entire business is built on OPM. There is inventory above us, S-Pill. Definitely, my friend. So when you manage other people's money, they want to see a return. When the month-end statement was a big thing, people would get, in the old days, you'd get a letter with a statement of all your equity holdings and how your portfolio is doing. And serious people would open up their statement and they would read the Wall Street Journal and chain smoke a few cigarettes. And they'd think, you know what? I got $10 million with this idiot. He's not beating the S&P. That's not a good thing. Right? So short sellers are very convenient if you can get them, if you can find some stupid short sellers and get them to short the market right before the end of the month. You can crank them and get them to cover into month end and push prices up. It's all about leverage. It's snowing. Where are you, Leslie, in Colorado? How did you? I know there was going to be a seller before VWAP. Takes one to know one. Because if I was in there, Gambit, I would be banging them out with both hands. How many did you say you wanted? Two. Sold. How many sold? JJ, can I show you a sold? Sold, 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 sold. Right? Because I know everybody else is going to be waiting at VWAP to sell. I'm just going to get in there and sell everything I can. See, look at that. That's me, right? We'd be whacking those bids. In fact, my old business partner was called the bid whacker. We used to call him bid whacker because he'd just get in there and just hit every single bid, right? Like his life depended on it. Always front run VWAP, right? And there is a lesson from Scarface. There's two lessons from Scarface that are very important in trading. One is don't get high on your own supply if you're a short seller. And number two is never underestimate the other guy's greed. Okay? Don't ever do that in any kind of stock market, futures market, nothing, because you'll get run over. Yeah, we love when people short at the end of the month. You're like, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. We bought all the supply all month. We've been sitting there, bid this thing. You guys don't know. Then you guys go short, and we're like, oops. You want to buy it back? It's like 30% higher. Have a nice day. Right? It's the business. It's been that way forever. That's why short selling is a fool's game in a market where there's no supply. Hit and run shorts are great. Get in, get out, get paid. Right? But don't be stubborn because the people who own all the stock are trillion-dollar institutions. You're not going to be able to outhold them with a $3,000 account, right? Right? Remember in Godfather, never go against the family? Well, in this business, don't go against the business, right? Don't go against the business. Go with, right? Why do you want to fight it? If you want to fight, take up MMA. You can get your head kicked in. I'm sure it feels better. And it won't be as expensive. You know, don't fight the market. Just go with it. Let it take you. Now, like there's a seller, you know, if you were shorting VWAP, if you were shorting up here, right, and you'd put your stop just over here, right, well, you put some bids in, and if you're feeling lucky, put some bids down here at 28. Because if we can take out 30, it'll kind of drop down to 28 real quick. Now, if this candle can't get under 32, that kind of sucks. So you have to go and cover a little bit. But short 36, cover 32, 31, that's not a bad little trade. Your risk is not that high, right? See, it's doing the same thing here as it was doing here. Remember we had this balance, right? Where was it here? Now we have a distribution balance. You see? This is where we go and we pick up all the fruit that fell off the trees. We load it in the truck and we take it to market and sell it. Right? So if this was a chart of banana sales, right? This is where we got the bananas. This is how much we paid for our bananas, and this is how much we're selling them. And the difference is profit. All this is a fancy sales chart. That's all this is. It just tells you how sales are going minute by minute, half an hour by half an hour, 4 hour by 4 hour. That's it. So if you understand the business, then you don't have to memorize a bunch of patterns. Oh, you can use this on. The beautiful thing, Roop, is that you can use this on every time frame, from a 1 minute to, you know, to a 4 hour, to an 8 hour, to a daily, to a monthly. Because the trade is very simple. The trade is the look below and fail and the look above and fail. Right? Yeah, it's a chart of distribution, right? Of sales. Yeah. It's a sales chart, right? Just like in those 80s movies, you'd see all those people in a boardroom wearing, the Hugo Boss suit, and they had an easel up and they had a chart. These are our sales and our projections for the next quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Well, we're watching the sales happen, minute by minute. Right? Nice and simple. Just keep it simple. All you need to trade is a 1 minute candle chart. This one I've got on the right is a TPO chart. And that's how I learned how to retail trade. So I guess I'm kind of holding on to that like a baby blanket. But it's really not necessary. Right? Yeah, let's make it simple and let's make you some money, Henry. Because I want to teach real people, normal people, people who work hard for their money. I'm tired of seeing them get swindled, right? Like, you want to swindle a hedge fund? Fine, they're big boys, they can take it. I want to see normal people make some money doing this because they spend so much time, and it's soul crushing to lose money all the time, right? So I just want to make it simple and make you some money. How can the big guys be sure that the price won't go down after they've loaded up to the max? Because they see the orders. Because they see the orders. The orders come to them. So it's like being at a poker table and you can see everybody's hand. They pay brokerage firms to get their buy and sell orders. That's called payment for order flow. Get it? So the orders go through them. There you go. That's what market makers do. They pay for order flow like a tailor pays for cloth to make a suit. A market maker pays for order flow to make a market. The secret of my success. Exactly. Right? Just have a rich aunt. Man, that was a good movie. An underrated movie, I must say. Michael J. Fox. The pride of Burnaby, Canada. See how they're putting it on sale now? And they'll kind of slow down at 27. And if they really, really have to mark it down, they'll drop it back down to 22. So if you're short, your ultimate destination is 22. But I'd pepper this area with some bids, right? If I'm short here, right, and following it down, just put some bids in and see if it hits you. If it doesn't hit you, then you can lift your bid, right? You don't want to miss out, right? Use your buy orders to tell you how well the trade is working, right? Simple, 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 simple. The analysis has to be simple. There is no reason for you to have to correlate markets and find the square root of pi, and multiplied by the speed of light. None of that's going to make you any money. Where are they selling? Where do they stop selling? That's all you need to know. When they start selling, you sell next to them. When they stop selling, you buy it back. Right? Ooh, great. The AI. This is very cool. Right? Right? And how can they be sure? It's their job to know. Right? It is your job to know these things. If we're paying you $10 million a year to trade for us, you better damn well know where the bid is. right? Very cool. You know what I mean? Right? Market makers actually see the order. They see that order flow come in, right? And once you start looking at a 1 minute chart, you too will know, right? Does that make sense? Once you start understanding what's going on in a 1 minute chart, you are going to know where they stop selling. Where they stop selling is where all the buyers lined up, right? And here's the thing, W9. Sometimes they will be loaded up and more selling will come in and they just have to take the capital hit at the time. Yep. See how it's slowing down here in the 27s, 26s? It's just coming back to cost basis. Back to 22. Now, who's up for going and checking out the that previous day low again? So remember what I said, if we break that 6804 level, 6805, 6804, you're kind of looking for 60. Here, I'll show you this half-hour candle chart, kind of help show you where we are right now. For those of you who are more used to candles, you can see this is distributive inventory, right? This is inventory that we've been distributing. So if we break the 6818, your next target down here is going to be 6804. And if that breaks, 6790. Okay? So look for that. Now we're going to find out after a couple of days above 6818, 6812, right? If we break this level here, how much of this is going to fall out? How sticky is that buying? Because remember, we have some pretty decent short positions in this market. Look at that. Look below and fail of 22 again. Damn, I missed that. Yeah. That would have been a good one. Long 24, 25, selling 30. That was a nice candle. Oh, well. That was a nice candle. That was a really nice look below and fail. Oh. And we're still in A period. There'll be sellers at 34, 35, right? Sellers will be up here. Let's see if it can stay above 27. Right? So, do you folks see what happened? Does everybody understand? We had a cost basis. We went and sold it, and then we sold it right back to cost basis, right? Bing, bing, and then back up again to sell it again. And that is the movement of inventory. Raj, I don't even know what that is. What's a Boko chart? Good stuff, Hex. Sorry about that, Moran. Uh, Renko. Oh, okay. News in 3 minutes? All right, let's see what happens. Oh man, this feels like the longest half hour. Candles are getting smaller. Business is getting a little slower. Oh my goodness. See how business just slowed down right away. I like looking at 4 hour just to kind of see where we're at in the zoo. I find it a very helpful chart, especially since the liquidation from, I think it was the 21st of November, is when I started running that 4 hour candle chart. And I found it quite helpful. That's where I got that 68.54 level from. So if you're a larger trader, if you constantly see a seller at 54, you can go position short and have your risk above the top of those candles, cover some at 31, which is halfway, and then put your bids down here. That's a beautiful trade for larger accounts, right? And it helps us from going long over 54. For scalpers and smaller time frame traders, the chart helps us stay out of this neighborhood on the long side because there's obviously a seller here, right? So then we know to trade to the short side. If that helps. Right. I still have that seller at 33 and what? 33 and a quarter? Yeah, still there. There we go. Right through to VWAP. So inventory got a little too short. Had a big buy order come in over 32. Let's see where they sell into it. Well, right at VWAP. Now let's go find the bid. Where's the bid? Where's the bid? Can we hold 33? Let's see if we can hold 33. All right. Remember, this is that old pinata low. Remember when we took that out, all of that stuff came out. That's why we went in there and they hit us with supply, right? They're like pelting us with with ES, right? So short sellers would have sold that, and they would put their stop above that A high, right? So if you're a short seller, you're spreading out your orders here and put some bids in under 34 and see if you can get a fill, right? So say you're short 35, right? I'd put a lookout bid in at 34. If we get back over 38, you know you're in trouble. Because if this thing accepts over VWAP, it's going to rip up to that 47 level. Because your next seller is right here at 42. So that's how things can get out of hand, right? So a lot of people like to short VWAP, right? That's okay, but you got to know where your risk is. Use these levels as your risk, because if it takes out where that seller was before, it means those sellers have seen buyers, right? And your target will now be 42, right? Hopefully that makes sense, right? This is what we call rotation, ladies and gentlemen, right? So we liquidated. Look how beautiful this is. Liquidated, right? Up. Another little sell to bring in more buyers. Now, anyone who's short underneath 37 is trying to cover these 42s. Next area where there'll be some sellers is this 45 area up here. Now, let's see if we backfill this. If there's no seller at the close, next target is 46.47. Does that make sense? There's 46.47, just like we said. If you're long, now you're going to use 46.47 to see whether or not we can accept above it. This market has the horrible thing of running out of supply just when everybody gets short. And you just saw that happen. Remember those big green candles? Right? Big green candle, big green candle, big green candle. That's when the shorts realize they're hooped and they all come racing back. Oh, good stuff, Anne Marie. That VWAP short, that it was like seducing us. Because I almost got sucked in by that too, but I talked myself out of it. Right? It's a good thing I was on stream because I would have gone for it. Right? I was like, oh, there's a seller there, right? And then all of a sudden the seller just goes, nope. That's good. That's good. Saved some money there. See, and what she did, I didn't do. Like I did it and I froze, right? I didn't take the trade and then I couldn't get out and go the other way. She had the presence of mind to do that. So you can see if we were on a trade desk, she's zoned in. I'm still talking to the boys about what happened last night. And oh, damn, I missed that, right? But that's the difference between a trader that's zoned in and like me who was like just blah 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 talking, right? So that's what you need to be able to change, right? That's if you need to be able to change it up as fast as she did. She switched and went long, right? That takes focus, right? I'll be honest with you. Usually when I'm talking to you guys, I'm not that focused, right? Like I can see it, but I'm kind of moving a little slow physically. So let's see if we can get under 42. We can maybe come back down to VWAP. It is, right? So I shorted 43 and a quarter and I covered at 41. 41 and three quarters, and then the rest here. Oh, I got lucky. Okay. There we go. Yeah, this market just shuts off the sell, like, because it's just, remember, and here's something I've been thinking about so much. These big red candles, that means big orders are coming in because the order book is just thinning out. And then the market makers just drop it down here, absorb, take it back up. And that's why you cut right through this area, because once you've absorbed all those sell orders and kind of wrung out the market like a towel, right? And you just flush it all down here, you take it right back up and sell it. And now there's a nice counter trade coming right back to VWAP. That's what I was looking for, but I covered too early. Yeah, talking in retail trading is harder than, like, I could, if I was running deals, I could run 6 deals simultaneously and have a conversation with you guys because I'm in charge of the supply. But retail trading takes a lot more concentration. Now, newer traders, if you're looking at this and going, how the hell are these guys doing this? Don't worry. We've all been in the same boat. We all start out, nobody jumps out of the womb with a computer mouse in one hand, you know, and just sits down at 5 years old and is a trading prodigy. It's not like, playing the piano, right? So it does take time to learn. It does take time to, you know, um, to learn how to do this skill. It took me years. And you know how they're saying be patient in trading, right? You know what it really is, being patient? Is being patient with yourself, right? It's not being patient. It's sure you got to be patient and wait for the trade setup, but you also got to be patient with yourself, right? Give yourself a break. There are people who went to the best schools in the world that are screwing up at this every day. Don't feel bad. It takes time. Be patient with yourself. Let's see where we are. Hmm. What was our low? 68.20. Nowhere near that 68.12, eh? Boy. So far, we really have the shorts trapped. They're really trapped. Hmm. Well, all right. Now I think we're just going to do the VWAP shuffle, where it'll just go back and forth over VWAP. Let's see. Because that's usually what happens after a big move. It's like when you pull a rubber band back, right? You pull it back all the way and then it snaps up and then it just kind of slows down and does this, right? Let's see if it does that now. What's going on? Oh, I don't even have my equity charts open. Yikes. JJ's discipline is not good today. How's the coin of bitterness? 924. I've got to clean up these charts. Let's see here. Yeah, we're just dancing at VWAP. Not much going on yet. I had a SPY chart somewhere around. Ah, there it is. SPY 681. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're going to get a big sell-off into the end of the year. I could be wrong, but I think we are on our way to marking this thing up. If we get, here's what I'm thinking. Okay. Now don't mind me. Like if let me put on my old penny stock swindler's hat on. I'm thinking if we could keep the market between 68.10 and 87, and if we could get enough people trapped short here, if we could get enough people to initiate short positions, we could blow this up by the end of the year and put in a new high. I do think that we might get a little breakdown here to 67.80 and test this area. Most of the inventory is here. It's under 67.33, right? We're taking this and we're selling it up here. So let's see. Right? It's always nice to mark a market up at the end of the year. How wholesale builds positions not at extreme bottoms. Um, well, wholesale traders are always doing two-sided business, right? They're buying and selling. But you always want to be trying to get flat, right? You take in inventory, you sell it. You're short inventory, you buy it back. So how exactly, so you got wholesale, size, position. Could you kind of be more specific about what you want me to talk about? I'll be happy to talk about it. But what exactly is the question? Take your time. There's no rush. We got lots of time. How can we know if there's enough people short? Yeah, look for where they stop selling. Right here. There's enough people short under 32. You see those 3 1-minute candles have the exact same bottom. Because the short sellers are bid to cover here. See? All the way right up. Great timing on that question. Yeah, so wholesale will always build on top of a short position. Shorts are always going to be the first ones. Smart money shorts are always going to be the first people in there buying. Why? Because they're closing a position. They're not initiating or opening a position or putting money at risk. They're taking risk off the table. When wholesale sees those orders come in, they will step ahead. They'll front run that. So if I saw that there was a 32 buyer, I'd be buying 33, 34 and trying to sell 36, 37. That's all we're trying to do. Right? Find out where they stop selling, go buy a little as they take the market up, let them have it. Make 3 to 4 points on, say, 3 to 10 contracts. Do that a couple of times a day. Now, it sounds a lot easier than it is to do. It's hard to get consistent. Start on the micro. Come to the tradingsyndicate.org. We'll teach you how to do it in a simple way without any gibberish. Once you know where the inventory is priced, you can do good business. Oh, no, 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 no. They're not putting a position to take us higher right now, Dragon. They're selling, right? They will have to take in some long position. And if price holds long enough, right, people will come in and buy and they can raise prices. It's always a two-sided business, but you can be damn sure they're distributing right now. And how do I know? Because I've done it, right? And that's how I can tell you for sure what's going on because most people who teach retail trading are not size traders, right? They haven't sold 180 million shares of stock over a 6 to 18 month period and create charts. That's what I used to do, right? I have sold billions upon billions of shares into the US equity markets and created charts. So I know exactly what's going on, right? This is a distribution balance. There's an accumulation balance and a distribution balance. Always, yes. There's no supply under 26 because that's where the shorts are bid. Pretend 26 is a big, big glass door and you're the seller and you've got 5,000 contracts for sale. But when you get down to 26, you see 20,000 people in the parking lot pushing up against the door. What do, Dragon? You raise your price. That's it. It's simple. That's just what happened here. They saw sellers at 32. They got them to pay 37. Those buyers brought in more buyers to 38, 39. Buying begets buying. So they got to raise the price all the way from 32 to 42 in the last 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes. Yeah, of course. It's going to be a lot harder for you guys to see that, but it's just going to take some time. That's all. Right? So, Cesar, if I put a violin in front of you and asked you to play the Sibelius Violin Concerto, it would sound like you are hurting some kind of a small animal. I mean, unless you're a violin virtuoso. First, you're going to have to learn how to play a note on the violin and play a scale, right? So it's just going to take some time. That's all. I've been doing this for 34 years, and all I've done is sell positions, right? When does it flip? When it goes higher, Dragon. Real simple. Right now, we're in distribution. You don't want to overthink this, my friend. I understand exactly what you're doing. You're overthinking it, right? All of the inventory is underneath 67.88. Here, take a look. Right? Take a look. Here's the inventory. It's all here. Right? It's underneath the gap. Exactly. This is the distribution. It's a smaller range. Because this is when they were, think of this, pretend you're shaking a tree to get all of this loose hanging fruit out. Then you take it and you sell it here. See how simple it is? It's just you're not used to thinking about it this way because you guys are looking for patterns and indicators and stuff like that, but you have no idea how the business works. Once you get an idea of the business works, then it'll all start to come together. Just a little time. Shorts are always the first people to buy. Smart money shorts are the first people to bid a market. Because they're closing a position. Yeah, you guys don't really want to overthink this stuff too much. You know, Accumulation, distribution. Put it on sale, that brings in buyers. Distribution, distribution at a cheaper price. See? This is exactly a creation of stability. Yeah, come on in. Have a coffee. Please, get Dragon a cappuccino. Now let's sell you some fancy, expensive ES contracts, right? That's all it is. It's beautiful trading this morning. It's really nice. It's really nice. Nice big candles, right? It's a beautiful business. When everything works, oh my God, there is no better business in the world. Thanks, Ed Marie. Really appreciate you. You know, there is no better business in the world when it works. When things go bad, you kind of want a panic room. But no, if you manage your business intelligently, things should be okay. I just used to always be in crazy situations with people who were clinically insane, but very high functioning sociopaths. Most of my clients, you never know when they were going to turn around and bite. And it's kind of like handling alligators. Hey, Mike, how you doing? So a little bit more distribution here. That's okay. No worries. Geez, we're almost done. A period looked like it took forever. Yeah, we always chase those days where everything goes perfectly. Hey, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. Nice work. And some days you could see things clearly, but you're slow executing. Some days you can't see it at all. Like there are some days you come in, and that's why we do the same thing every day, the same methods. So we always look at the same thing. So we have something to judge. We have a standard to judge trades against, right? I mean, so you can take those good days, and those are the really good days, and then you see days where you just can't figure out what's going on, and it's like, and those days I just like, nope, I'm not putting money at risk because I'll go, okay, I think this is going to happen, and no, that didn't happen. Oh, I called that wrong, right? Everybody has those days, like, oh man, missed that one. Yeah, VWAP. Yeah, VWAP is it's a place you can kind of think of VWAP as a truck stop, right? I compare us traders, we're like truckers. So investment bankers create the product, salespeople sell it to their institutional clients, and traders, we're the ones who take that product and we move it out the door. VWAP is like a truck stop, right? VWAP is like a truck stop. VWAP is how large traders and execution models now, because everything's electronic, are judged by their, you know, if I give you a million shares to buy, I want you to get me prices under VWAP. If I give you a million shares to sell, you better get me prices over VWAP, so I will call you tomorrow with the next trade. Now that's changed to electronic execution, or I'll hire somebody else to write the code. Whatever it is these guys do. Oh yeah. I mean, we're not that far away from the all-time highs, folks. I mean, Once we get over 68.87 up there, there's not much overhang. There's just this. You know, I mean, who wouldn't like an all-time high under their Christmas stocking? Or under the tree, not under the stocking. In the stocking, under the tree. That's it. Right? Yeah, it's just slow distribution. Ultimate target for me is 54 and a quarter. And that's if it holds the close of yesterday. Ah, was the all-time high in an overnight session? Aha. I think we already had the sweep of the low, Lear. Unless you can drum up some more bad news. Right? The government's open again, right? Everything's firing on all 12 cylinders. See, they've all they got to do now is just bring the boat into harbor, right? That's all they don't like. I can't swear, but they like, they'd be fools to f this up. All you got to do is just bring the boat back into the harbor. You don't want to crash the boat into the dock. Just nice and slow, right? Just even leaving it here into the end of the year would be fine, right? Yeah, sure. You want to fill the gap, go ahead. Gap and bounce, right? But don't screw it up. Just let the boat just go nice and gently into the harbor. So here's how you use VWAP, original. Real simple. If you are long, I don't know if you were with us earlier when people were getting long at 27, 28, 32. I said there's going to be a seller before VWAP right here. So if you're long, you sell before VWAP. If you're short, you buy before VWAP so you can cover. That's it. Simple, right? So as a retail trader, if you're long and you know they're going to front run VWAP, then by all means, let them have it with both handles, right? Sell, sell, sell. If you're short and the market's coming down to VWAP, that is a place where you are going to have to compete with other buyers. Does that make sense? So if VWAP is the truck stop, right? Think of the order flow as Boston cream pie, and all the truckers want the same piece of pie. So you want to like get there first, right? Get out first. Front run it on the way up, front run it on the way down. That way you're always booking profits. I'm fasting today, so there'll be a lot of food references. See, as we come down to VWAP here, they're going to slow down a little bit. Oh, and I'm done. Sorry, I'm going over a little bit. But if you look at the 1 minute candle wax here, and you look at VWAP, see how the bottom of these two candles cannot transact VWAP? On any chart, on any chart. The 1 minute just shows it in great detail, right? That's all. A 1 minute chart is, have you ever used a microscope and you spin the thing and the lenses change and you get higher magnification? A 1 minute chart is just higher magnification. That's all it is. See how now it's transacting at VWAP? So if we have a lot of selling competition, it'll break VWAP and trade under 37. Right? See? Bids at VWAP. See? Next candle, up or down? Watch when it gets to VWAP. Still some order flow there. Still some customers. Can we get them up to 40? right? If we can't get them up to 40, let's bang it under VWAP and go for 34. If VWAP holds, we'll rotate up to 42. There's only two ways to go. See, there's 41 and 3/4 or 41 and a quarter. See, that's rotation. And that, what you just witnessed on a 1 minute candle, will happen on every single time frame. And that is it for me. I should let you folks go. Have a great trading day. Come visit us at tradingsyndicate.org. Thank you, everyone, for being with us. This is a place where you will learn how to trade. I will force you. Right? We also have the best AI in the game for retail traders. Come check it out. And we will see you folks later. Trade safe out there, okay? Bye for now.